This is, I got a late idea to do an end of the year recap for our community. And we've had different people kind of come and go in the community, which does happen in spiritual community. There's nothing good or bad with that whatsoever. But I was just, as I was making the slides, I was like really feeling a lot of the nostalgia, really, recalling into some of the relationships and the people that I've met this year. Definitely soul family, without a doubt. And this year is pretty unique for me in particular, and I think our community too, because we've been able to call one another in many different ways. And I feel like even before we found JJ's community or found one another in community, I feel like we were just working together in the field, because I remember I was just sitting on a call with a mentor. I was like, man, I can genuinely feel that there are people who are co-creating. I didn't have the ability to see anybody. I think I saw one person out of probably like the 50 that I met in meditation, but I just intuitively, as I was tapping into the field and I was manifesting at the end of last year, 2024, I just knew, I could like feel, I was like, hey, there are people and we're going to be coming together and we're going to be working together in whatever way. And JJ talks about like leaving room for miracles, and like that is, it's exceeded any of my expectations I could have possibly imagined. Best case scenario this year has just blown me away in so many different ways. So yeah, this is our end of the year recap, and I'll just go through the slides. At the end of 2024, JJ led us through a Galactic Akashic Records kind of activation. I believe it was 2 days. Could have been one, I don't remember. But I put that on the slide because at the time when we had that activation, it was a group MSI activation. I think a lot of us, like, I felt that it was very powerful at the time, but also I don't think it really laid the groundwork for me specifically on what was coming for 2025. Energetically, not only the grids, the architecture, the personal templates and aspects that were going to assist with this community. So that's why I put it on the slide. A lot of us met, prior to Nexus Beta, but because a lot of us were on different projects the year before. But as far as 2025 goes, we got together in the end of January and through February for Nexus Beta from Mexico, whenever Michael and JJ had their very first kind of large in-person trip planned. And we were all on different teams. Me and Aurora were actually in the Timekeepers. Erica, I don't remember. Erica was like she was in all the groups. She was a busy bee. She was like weaving in all of the groups. Let's see what she wrote here. You were not there yet? Which one were you weaving in? Was it Albion? Oh, okay. Yeah, I just remember like reading all of the stuff. And I was like, man, she has a lot of like really good insights on every single one of them. I did want to special shout out to, yes, absolutely. I remember that. Special shout out to Lenny. So I met her at the end of January and February, and we got hooked up on the Grid Play series together. Yep, Erica and Rachel were in it. Yeah, absolutely. So I just wanted to put that on here as a project that we've weaved on and gridded the entire year together. Planetary and galactic gridding and other side projects too that weren't just those. Two of the most activating series of projects that we worked on for the Grid Play series was regridding the solar system, and specifically the Vegas project the later part of this year that ended like in November of the very first week of December, but through November of 2025. So just shout out to Lenny, sending her a lot of vibes and love for really activating many of us in so many ways with that series. and very in-depth, intricate, super quantum grid work that she templated and anchored for us. We had our very first vault dive for the Salt Lake City vault. At the time, it was Michael and Lenny were kind of anchoring the call, like physically, and then we were just there on the call, those of us who were able to attend, which was really interesting. That was like kind of a first template. And then the Heart of Albion, so Nexus for Albion specifically, was in April to May of 2025. This was another trip that JJ and Michael and her team were a part of. They were in the UK and England, visiting a bunch of the sacred sites there. And we spent roughly a month, maybe sometimes it's like 5 weeks, 6 weeks sometimes, on the Nexus projects together. And then soon after that, we kind of got the, I'm just going to turn this volume down just slightly. Soon after that, we basically formed what was going to become the Limitless Creators, which is where we're at today in this container, where many of our friends have been throughout the year, and where our recap is going to be based at. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the volume here on this music. So Vincent led us on a 4-part series for Lady of the Lake, which weaved with the Heart of Albion, and it was just a really, really cool series. And that was kind of the start of our community, really. We're all from JJ's community, but we all started basically aligning and hopping on calls together in the Grid Play series, as well as what would be the Limitless Creators. Normandy Reconciliation, so this is a call that it was myself, Vincent, and David did specifically, and it was tied into the Heart of Albion, but specifically gridding, and I think it was a couple calls that we did, specifically gridding Normandy. So this is a war theme, a lot of like things that were tied specifically to Normandy. Just a very super activating call that to like grid and clear, alchemize, transmute, and really release some like stuck energy around the war timeline. Simi led us through Galactic Akashic and Beltane call, which was in May. The 1st of May, according to this. Sorry, this jacket's sticking to me. And many of us participated in that one. The Galactic Akashic was super activating and well-timed. Okay. Rainbow Bridge. So we did the Rainbow Bridge, which was a series of 2 calls pre-gridding for JJ's 12 chakra activation that she led. The Rainbow Bridge frequency specifically was something that I and many others had channeled, and the way it came through was like every night in the dream space, we were building this rainbow bridge brick by brick, and it was like rainbow frequency. I remember like holding it in my hands, and it was like every single night I would just go there and I would work on this thing. And it was like a couple months, or it felt like a couple months. I don't know if it was a couple months for sure, but it felt like a couple months. And every night I was like, man, is this thing ever going to get finished? And then finally it was, and I didn't really know at first what was going on. I was just there participating kind of in the astral and the quantum, and it ended up being this rainbow bridge frequency. So we did I think we did a group Holy Fire Reiki healing session, and then Jacob led us in essentially like a gridding our chakras together. So it was really activating. Sovereign Starseed Reclamation, the galactic reclamation of your galactic blueprint, was our kind of pre-gridding and co-weaving with JJ's Galactic Lineage Reclamation project. This was third week in June. And we're kind of, at this point, this is the week before we had our actual in-person meetup. And we did a couple vault dives specifically for the Four Corners and Chaco Canyon. So the Four Corners is if you aren't familiar with it, the Four Corners is, I'm in one of the corners, Utah, Colorado, which Christina is in, and some of our other friends, Tatiana lives there too. Lenny's also in Utah. In New Mexico, which is where I was stationed at the time, and then Arizona. Rachel was representing Arizona. So we had a couple really activating vault dive calls. I anchored near Chaco Canyon on June 9th. And then we had a follow-up call to dive the vault again for like codes, keys, vaulted information, scrolls, runes, glyphs, hieroglyphs, just as we were channeling for the Four Corners. And then we had our actual meetup the 27th to the 30th, so roughly over a weekend, and then we did a couple days. We went in a few days early and actually kind of pre-gridded that trip. So a lot of us like to pre-grid things as well too. That was our first kind of in-person embodiment, other than like meeting up ourselves. So in the photo there to the left, right behind Tatiana, is Erica and Katya knew one another. Vincent was there with his wife. So that was our first time kind of like meeting up together as a community. Super, super activating that frequency of embodiment. And then we booked a private trip to Shiprock Peak. So Shiprock Peak is a very sacred site for the on Navajo reservation, Navajo land and territory. And it was like a 3-hour, roughly like 4 hours out of the actual site itself on our last day of the trip, which was the 30th. As we were channeling, we got connected to the indigenous councils, so the Ute, Navajo, Hopi, the indigenous grandmothers came through as well. The next slide, after that trip, Lenny and I drove up to Moab to kind of do some channeling, anchoring, and we ended up activating our own personal frequency of remembrance over like a 3-day time span, just out in the desert, basically, of Moab. It was so hot during the day, but yeah, just a really, really cool place. There's 3 national parks that are out there. It's located in southeast Utah, southern Utah. And it's red rock. There's also some a lot of limestone too as you get out to the edges of one of the national parks. So super activating, and over the span of 6 months now, that frequency of remembrance has really anchored in, and it's been hundreds, if not thousands, of lives that have been consciously and unconsciously witnessed and released. We had our pre-gridding call on the 15th, and that was specifically for, it was like a Now River Sacred Site activation, an amazing, super dope call. And all of these two are on the YouTube as well. If you're listening to this, you're like, man, this sounds really cool. I don't remember, or you weren't here for, you weren't in the community yet. All of these playbacks are on the YouTube channel, and they're available. And I'll post them up into the Telegram as well, so you guys can just really just click through, find it and click through, and I'll make it easy for you guys. But if you're like, man, I would love to do, maybe something with Rainbow Bridge, or oh my gosh, I'm really connected to Egypt, and you're listening to this, and I want to go back and kind of reactivate that frequency, you definitely can. Lenny led us, and I co-led with her for a Yellowstone retreat, about 30 minutes away from Yellowstone. It was a 4-day retreat. Some of the members in our community were able to attend, and really that retreat was like the very first retreat that we've done together, and super, super activating for every single person that attended in many different ways. Yellowstone's really fun. Inner Earth councils, we connected to so many Inner Earth councils. we did some channeling and discovered like this inorganic ship as well too. That was kind of like weaving with that as well. Got connected to all of the elements, all of the specifically like earth, fire, water. The mineral kingdoms were very present there too. Inner earth councils came through loudly. A lot of dragon frequency up there in Yellowstone as well too. Like some of the hot pots were they look like an actual like dragon. Some of them are like breathing, exhaling like fire. You're like, whoa. 8/8, we anchored at Tatiana's house and had a couple calls while we were there for the Lionsgate portal. And Tatiana and Vincent had kind of mapped out this huge, like physically mapped it out and connected it to 4 different stars on her property. And she had this idea to build out like a very large infinity symbol on her property, on her land. And then Lenny and I visited her on 8/8 and helped her build it out. And then we had a ceremony on 8/8 with some members of the community there, which was very, very activating. Like drumming, singing, hoot and hollering, howling at the moon, watching the asteroids, connecting to the galactic whales and the galactic dolphins at the top of this like 12,000-foot mountain in Evergreen, Colorado. We stayed in Golden, Colorado, which was like super activating in itself as well. Got connected to the local field office and channeled the local field office there and did a bunch of grid work around the Denver area, Denver Metropolitan, West Denver specifically, Red Rock, all in that area, all through Idaho as well. And on the way back, I think we went through Wyoming. We took a different route back to Utah. While we were there, pre-gridded for Serpent Mound. And one of the most activating calls we've had this year was the Flower Codes call. So weaving with JJ for her, flower frequency, activating the Garden of Peace, connecting into the Garden of Eden as well on that call. And then Lenny led us in gridding your field, which is basically a channeled protocol that she has put together, and it allows you to grid your own personal field. So super activating. She was able to basically bring that through for us. The very first trip for JJ's community went to Egypt was September 1st to 18th. We did a couple series of calls, channeling for Egypt specifically, and we went a few days early and ended up being a total of 3 weeks there. So it was 20 members of the community, our community, and even from the Limitless Creators community as well. Very, very, very activating, probably like a trip of a lifetime. There was a total lunar eclipse on the 7th into the 8th. 999, we were inside the Great Pyramid and held a ceremony at 9 p.m. One of the frequencies that we were able to channel and anchor specifically was a dual healing frequency. Lenny and I were able to embody that frequency in person. Many members were having like energetically like purging on the trip, and essentially like we stayed up late every single night and just healed one person a night together on the Nile River. Which the Nile River is just this very deep primordial feminine frequency. It just holds you. It's like really this like womb deep feminine flow. And then obviously like the lunar, the full moon, the lunar itself, very like yin, is just so activating to be able to anchor that dual healing frequency together, but also divine masculine, divine feminine template too. After we got back, there was an integration period, as I'm sure Aurora and Erica and Rachel and Melissa can attest to. And that's where kind of channeled through this protocol. After about 10 days, it came through. Really 10 days of suffering for me personally. I was able to channel through with her help for this quantum harmonization protocol. We went into the Quantum Creator Series, channeled into the quantum creation and also quantum manifestation, and activated that. There was a 17-second reality hack by Brian Scott, which was very, very activating, something that to kind of add to quantum manifestation. Quantum creation is more like Kelly Kolodny. She talks about like quantum creation. And then back when we were at the Four Corners, it's back on this slide, we did Galactic Historians Part 2. Actually, that was in 8-8 rather. Galactic Historians, Gridding with JJ for Galactic Historians Part 2. And then in October, we did a call, Gridding for not only quantum harmonization, but the Galactic Historians Part 3. And then these are our photos on the left. I don't know if you guys can take a look at the photos here. Maybe you can see. But this is actually a photo of a mermaid. This photo was taken along the Nile River. I think we were either going to or coming back from the Temple of Isis, where the original temple was. And this photo was snapped. I want to say Lenny might have taken this photo. I don't remember. Yeah, it was either me or her. I'm pretty sure it was her. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, look at this." And it was like, if you can see, well, it's not going to work here. Yeah. Can you guys see that okay? Like it's an actual, like, you get the mermaid's tail here. The body of the mermaid, this is like either, I don't even know what to make of that, I'll be honest with you. It could be a chakra, it could just be like the back, it could be the head. Super, super activating. And this is our crew that was with us there in Egypt at, I think we're at the rock quarry on this day. Okay. And then for Aurora's trip, and we have a picture here of Aurora and Natalia and Sister Melissa and Rachel was on that trip too. This is at Abu Simbel, and this is in front of the Great Pyramids, actually, on the right-hand side there. So we did a pre-gridding, pre-activation call for them on the 27th before they left, and then activated the Water Codex on... Oh, I just noticed that's out of order. Yeah, Water Codex along with Quantum Harmonization. So Water Codex is the element of water, Codex being code exchange, so Water Codex. And then I'm going to write this down so I remember to fix that on the slide. Sticks. Okay, and then, okay, got it. We did a 3-part series for the Galactic Children, which was very, very activating. And I know many people here got a lot of benefit out of that specifically. Channeling, I was channeling with the Galactic Children for months and months leading up to those calls. Aurora, was there anything that you wanted to share about your trip also while we're on the slide? Anything you wanted to say or anything we can witness you on?
So I think the both Natalia and me felt the Abu Simbel temple is the most activating for us because it's like a solar temple. So every year I think it's like February the 22nd and October the 22nd, the sun will be like right on top of the temple or something like that. But it's those kind of solar temple and some like the pyramid in Peru, they all like a location in certain days that the sun is just on top of it. So that the Abu symbol is one of those temple. And also in the pyramid, near pyramid also has another place called something, but that is also a very important place. So and also there is Alexandria, the first day when we arrived there. So Natalia, Malaysia, and me, we all went to Alexandria. So in there also has the Library of Alexandria, and on Earth at a different location has several Library of Alexandria. So it's also a secret school. That's where we, in the past, we stored galactic knowledge into there, and also our secret teaching. So so we probably some of us might have like past life related to the Library of Alexandria. And also the Mount Sinai is a place with quantum processor, same as Serpent Mount. So when you get there, you will upgrade your quantum processing capacity automatically, I think. So I think lots of us either went to the Mount Sinai or went to the Serpent Mount. And we also opened the water under the Sphinx. So we did lots of things there. That's my share.
Yeah, thank you. Just witnessing all of you, that's super activating listening to you share. Very, very activating listening to you, even stirring some of my own personal remembrance too. Yeah, so 11/11 for the trip with Natalia, they were actually up in Mount Sinai, and then they camped the night in Sinai. I got my right ear just pinging there. So confirming all of the many different activations, confirming and just witnessing all of the many different things between the two trips. Also the trip that Erica went on as well. And there was another group of people that are connected to definitely activating listening to your shares. What a year. Wow. Thank you, Christina. And I want to say they were either there at the same time as as Natalia and you, Aurora, and Rachel and Melissa, or they were a week before you. But there was another group of ladies who went together on a trip, because I have several of them on my Instagram, and I want to say they may have been they were either overlapping partially, or they were the week before, but I think they partially overlapped your trip for the first week of November, and I got goosebumps on my left side. But yeah, it's absolutely all so important, all of the different codes and keys, and that's why one of the reasons why our community came together in the first place was so that we could exchange the codes and the keys and the harmonics and all of the frequencies with one another, because Just confirming too. So the light language, I was just activating my channel with my own personal light language too, and yeah, the channel that came through from my higher self and the guides is that number one, confirming that many of us were drawn, magnetized, led specifically to Egypt this year, and none of this is by accident, right? So it does cost a decent amount of money to travel, so there is that consideration, but also being called, being initiated, being activated in our frequency of remembrance, and I described it earlier as like a big giant 0 point. If you think about this time of the year and Egypt specifically as a 0 point, there was the time before we went to Egypt, the time after Egypt, where we're integrating and we're in our communities, and we all have our own different ways of integrating, and all of the many different keys and codes, lifetimes that were remembered there, the timelines, the convergence itself, the golden, crystalline, threads of the different timelines that we were able to activate with our own harmonic resonance frequency, with our own DNA. Yeah, very, very powerful. Very powerful. So just witnessing that. Going to the next slide. And we're almost finished here, and then we can get back into some co-channeling, or we'll take ourselves on a guided journey as well here too. I didn't put it didn't make the slides, so I'll correct the slides, but before we got to Atlantis and Lemuria, we did the Fire Codex. Actually, Fire Codex was last week, 2 weeks ago. So I'll update the slides for the Fire Codex, but Crystalline Golden Atlantis Temple, which was pre-gridding with Sister JJ for reactivating the Golden Atlantis. Many of us in this community were also in community last year, and we did the Restoring Golden Atlantis. Yeah, Restoring Golden Atlantis last year. And in that specific activation that we did together, not only did we activate our own personal, we connected to the Atlantean Council, but like harmonized the different timelines of Atlantis. A lot of us have some remembrance from Atlantis, or have parallel lives in Atlantis, and there is kind of some collective trauma from the fall of Atlantis. So I really felt strongly this year that the frequency, last year was like reconciliation. This year was about really that harmonization, that weaving of the crystalline golden timeline of Atlantis. We talked about on the call too how there's timelines, other timelines where Atlantis didn't fall as well. And then Atlantis came in with Lemuria too. So they came in together for me, and a couple other people have channeled that as well too. So I felt very strongly to bring through the frequency of Lemuria. The crystalline frequency specifically, obviously, like we're weaving golden and above together as we activate our own templates, architecture, remembrance, and all of this is divinely timed. It's interesting that it came in at this time of year, which is kind of to close out 2025, build some synergy heading into 2026. I put on there perfect thirds. So for me, because I felt very strongly Lemuria and Atlantis, but I knew intuitively that there was a connection, and the connection that came through for me was the inner earth councils are really starting to make themselves known energetically, at least in the field. And really, because Lemuria and Atlantis, these are like planetary frequencies, even though they are seeded from star families they are deeply connected to, star families that are much more galactic in nature. That perfect thirds or triad of, this is like a very planetary, grid-working, planetary timeline from Mama Gaia, from Mother Earth, anchoring that higher harmonic octave. And there you can see the difference in the pictures too. This is just what came through as I was doing some channeling with Midjourney specifically. And similar colors, right? Similar frequencies, but also like different in a way. The baby whales want to be mentioned. As we had the whales picture there, they're like, yeah, baby whales, yeah. Some of the goals for ending this year and moving into 2026, we'll continue to reach out and build community, both online and in person. Many of us are feeling the pull for more in-person community as well. Online, I will always personally make online a priority for myself and for our community, but also branching out and really anchoring an in-person community. So if that's something that you feel called to, or that you were able to experience this year, I just really want to emphasize that I love online spiritual community. I love our community deeply, so grateful, very passionate about our online community, but also the frequency of in-person just hits in a way that I can't even really articulate in words. Like, it is a vortex of remembrance. When you meet another high-frequency soul in person, when your auric field, when your grid overlaps, there is just this deep activation that comes with that. That we activated and anchored at the four corners. And throughout the year, we've been embodying that. But if you're listening to this, whether it's on the playback or otter, definitely could not recommend it more. Planning on next year, we'll continue to reach out to one another for meetups, trips. Maybe we'll even potentially plan like a retreat, or we can all go to a retreat together. And I think everybody's going to continue to travel in whatever way is most aligned for us. And for most of us that involve some type of grid work, sounds like Sister Erica's already has a trip planned for the end of February into March for Oman, so international. And then continuing to call in more of our soul friends and soul family. Got a right ear loud pinging confirmation on that. As well as I said that out loud and put it into the field, and we're anchoring that template together. 2025 has been so aligned in many different ways, not only calling one another in for sacred play and co-creation, but I just intuitively feel that that's only the beginning of what's coming for 2026. Also, remembering all of I just want to take a moment here to really reflect on all of our friends and community. We've had a lot of members join us this year, and whether it's for just a reason or a season, or they will continue to weave with us, just want to deeply acknowledge their contribution to this community, energetically, astrally, in the quantum. Many of them continue to weave with us in the field. Just letting them know that, and if you made it this far on the replay, that we feel you, that we miss you, that we care about you, that we love you deeply, and we're just super grateful for all of the co-creation, not only in 2025, but looking ahead into 2026 and beyond. And then long term, of course, returning back into unity consciousness. This is something that I came up with here, and you'll have the slides. And we're not going to necessarily read it out or activate it per se. I think it'll be more of a field activation or more of a personal activation. If this verbiage on the left speaks to you, feel free to use some, all, or none of it. But this is a good way to kind of anchor in and call into completion 2025. I think there is something very powerful about reflection, about endings, about energetically bookending or closing out things, and I feel very passionate about that. And I know that every single person here is guided on their ascension spiral by their higher self, so I trust that you'll do that in the most aligned way possible. And if you would like to use some of the verbiage here on the left-hand side, hop into meditation or just state it out loud into the field. I hope that this will help. And then the picture on the right too, for me, something about it was speaking to me in particular, like a gate, a portal. Obviously there's some Lyran frequency there with the white lions. The top left, we got a bit of the, and I'll drop this into our Telegram as well too, so you guys can have a copy of this if you don't already have it. There's some rainbow frequency up in the top and in the top right. We got the mountains, which are the record keepers. You got the lunar frequency in the middle, a bunch of like codes, keys. Something about it just felt very activating and right. And Tara, Ian, Aldebaran, Stargates. Yeah, can you elaborate on that, Aurora, for us?
So after the Lyran wall, all the Lyrans, they all escape to different planets that seeded different star family. So the Golden Line, they went to Palladium with the help of Arcturian. Arcturian helped them seeded the Palladium, and the Blue Cat, the Blue Lyran, they first went to Sirius, and after that they keep going on. They eventually went to Orion. The White Cat, they went to the Hyatt. Part of the Hyatt is L-in. So there is a very important Stargate that's Antara, L-in, and Aldebaran. So if so I can read galactic astrology. So if in your birth chart you have that Stargate, it means you are working on quantum activation and transformation. If you want me to read your galactic astrology chart, I can read for you for free. So, and the L-in planet has a leadership school. So similar to Sirius B planet, there is a magic school in there. In L-in, there is a leadership school. So that's the White Cat planet, where the White Cat lineage went. But of course, they went to so many different planets, and there is many more planets that I haven't mentioned, but basically different Lyran lineage seeded different Star family. That's my share.
Yeah, wow, that's powerful. A powerful transmission, Aurora. Thank you so much. Super, super activating. Love that. Yeah, Christina said, thank you, Aurora. I got mine and realized right away this is not a solo adventure of understanding. And yeah, thanks for offering to read the Galactic Astrology as well for, I've never had my galactic chart or my galactic astrology, so I'm definitely interested and I'll chat with you. But yeah, thanks for putting that into the field. I think one thing that I will read from this here on just for the frequency of completion, I'm just going to read a very small portion, 1 to 3rd paragraph. Just taking a moment here to settle in, getting fully present. Always love to be intentional, calling in our guides and our higher self, opening the field. I mean, the field has been open, but stating that out into the field. I declare 2025 is complete, not as an ending, but as a sacred closure within the spiral of my ascension. Yeah, that felt right. That's the one that I wanted to read. A couple pictures here. The Age of Miracles. So we've been talking about miracles all year, and this is Sharon. This is one of her light codes that she has shared with us. So absolutely just anchoring that template for ending 2025 and calling in for 2026 specifically. And then the Ho'oponopono has been very activating in many different ways. The Ho'oponopono prayer, poem, meditation, mantra. I just wanted to have it up here on the screen as well too. So thank you, Sharon, and gratitude to the Ho'oponopono for really not only activating us but holding us all throughout this year. This prayer, I recite it over and over and over again in a variety of different ways, and I know others in our community do too. So if you'd like to share how the Ho'oponopono, we'll open it up for sharing here. I think I got one more slide. Yeah, this is the last slide, and then we're done as far as the slides go. So thanks for hanging in there. I just wanted to emphasize that this community is your community. We have gridded this community, activated this community, weaved this community, remembered this community and this council together. I just happen to be the person who sends out the invite, and I've been hosting it, but it is open and available to every single person that is aligned to the frequency of our community. We welcome, we invite you in. If you've been a part of our community, we thank you. Holding space and grace and ease and flow and love, that others will come into our community, that those who are a part of our community will return back into our community if it's aligned for their path. And we are the embodiment of our higher self, highest, purest essence. Just a lot of deep gratitude and love. Okay. Thank you, Christina. So we really appreciate all you do, Glenn. or said I could only do the basic reading. That's okay. That's perfect. Yeah, just deep gratitude and love. And I know it's easy. Here's the thing for me, and I'm like getting a little emotional. Think about this honestly, which is okay. Like it's okay to have big feelings. A lot of times, like people say, "Hey, thank you," or they tell you, "Hey, I love it." And I think these words to me, these words carry a deep meaning for me. A lot of times when I say things, I'm not just like saying it, and I just want to kind of put an emphasis on this, this whole last slide and the slide before too. But these aren't just words to me. Like this, I take the grid work, the weaving, our community, fiercely loyal, fiercely, I love fiercely, and all of that to me is something that it has a lot of meaning to it. I'm not just saying, "Hey, I'm grateful for you." I'm not just saying, "Hey, I love you." I'm not just saying, "Hey, I care about you." Like it means a lot to me personally. So thanks for being willing to play, to show up as your our inner child. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for every single person who's here live on the call, every single person who's listening to playback, every single person who's been here with us throughout the year, who will continue to join us in 2026. And we will continue to weave and grid and remember our way back into to unity, and whatever way is most aligned. So I think that's it for the slides. Yeah, did you want to come off, Christina, and I can read what you wrote there? So thank you. Can we hear your voice potentially? If that's the line.
Yeah, I'm a little slurry, but yeah, it's been a really, how did I say it, transformational container. And I don't remember exactly when I first joined you guys, and like I think it was right before your Egypt trip, because I had like one or two, and then it was like, oh yeah, well that makes sense not to do it in Egypt, but dang. But I got to hang out with some replays and just yeah, I like that reflecting on the year. Just I noticed like the gratitude, like every slide, every everything. And I appreciate that you don't just, say some words. It's you can feel the difference. Uh and side note, uh just hosting isn't just anything. I think it's a pretty it's a big give, and yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I do remember when you joined. I remember when every single person joined, actually. Um, and it's just several of us here on the call. Um, and yeah, I say it that way in particular because I want you guys to know that this community is ours. While I may be the person who leads us, Lenny has led us a lot throughout the year too. And we're missing her. And Vincent led us in the beginning and continues to lead and activate us on every single call that we're on. And actually, every single person, we all lead one another. We all weave with one another. We all grid with one another. And we all show up for one another. And I think that's why I'm really passionate about our community that we've built. The Limitless Creators community and the Grid Play community as well. That is a major part of Limitless Creators too. And yeah, thanks for saying all that. I appreciate that. But feel free if you guys have anything else. We have some time here to unmute, and I'd love to witness you about your year and the things that are on your heart.
I can't believe this year was only 1 year. So much. has been happening, and but at the same time, it's been like the best year. I'm not saying it was easy or perfect or in any way, but awesome. Like awesome coming more into myself and having more depth in all of my relationships. And um yeah, I got really sleepy a couple slides ago. Like I was totally listing, but it was I kept seeing as soon as the visual with the lions and the like rainbows out the side, it's like that little arch that was like kind of, I don't know, it was a little different than the bottom of the arch. But like that, yeah, I was like zooming somewhere. Um, yeah, been a good year. And it's been a long time since I've felt that way. Like, well, it's like a hard year, but I don't really reflect on it that way. I've gotten to grow and meet people and, even when that means, and be more myself, even when that means, not super grumpy. Sometimes I'm super grumpy or whatever it is. I'm not suppressing and recognizing my limits and with love. And that's just, that feels huge for me. So, and it's great to be witnessed by you guys. And the Telegram when I can catch up. Like this last month has been, well, like since I started getting ready for my trip to Virginia, I haven't caught up in anything online, but prior to this, it was like I was really engaged and really just powerful to see people with their shares and their gritting adventures. Oh my gosh, I love that there's a place for people to share about their gritting adventures and all their pictures and amazing pictures and artwork, and it's great.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christina. Sometimes when you're behind, like you really just gotta like click mark all as red and then just like kind of start over.
Yeah, no, I definitely do
um,
that.
yeah, I love the Telegram for so many reasons. I'll be honest with you. Actually, I wasn't really feeling Telegram for a while, and then JJ swapped her community over into Telegram and or her containers because we used to be on WhatsApp. We were doing WhatsApp communities, and
Yeah.
then we started doing Telegram. So I wasn't super crazy about it, but it's grown on me over the year, and it's a great way to have community, and it's a great way to continue to weave and grid, and
One second.
it's over the past like months, it's gotten really, really organized and super activating so that you can actually like find all the stuff. Um, so yeah, it's a great way, especially as a record keeper. And Aurora, I feel like you're a record keeper too. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Aurora. Um, but it's a great way for us to share our records with one another, share our codes and our keys and our scrolls, our vaults, our codices. What do you got for us, Aurora? I feel like you got something.
I felt that we are downloading the Akashic record into us, and eventually we are going to host it on Earth. That's what we are doing now, but we are downloading them. But I really like this Telegram community, and people share so much photos and images on it. So it's the frequency is so high, and we help us like trigger off our remembrance through talking with each other. And it's good to see each other's face, even though I need to show my face.
Yeah. Because I see the pictures from Egypt, and I was like, oh, that's what Aurora looks like. I was like, you can. There's
The
never any
picture.
pressure.
I
There's
look
never any
really
pressure.
bad on picture.
No, 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 no. It doesn't matter. Like,
Not what
there's a
I
lot
look
of
like.
there's a lot of codes that are exchanged from and that are activated by being able to like specifically the eyes, but I think our faces too carry a lot of activation and remembrance frequency in them, and our voices too, all of it, yeah, as well. But